So having a look at a few of the different channels we might use. Internet porn. The reason I bring that up until quite recently, porn was the #1 use of the internet, and that's now been surpassed by social media. So for a number of years, accessing porn on the web was the #1 use of the web. Believe it or not, it's true. So now social media has taken over, which is a different kind of porn in a way. So we like to masturbate over Facebook for hours on end. Again, we'll look at some of that later on. So Twitter, of course. Twitter has changed the way we communicate. Great way of delivering soundbite information. It's basically a brilliant news resource. So, we can sort of see the before and after Twitter. We can now reach the whole planet. We can use a hashtag, keyword, and people will find us. This event, if you look for the hashtag for this event, you'll see lots and lots of posts. So it's a great way of me promoting myself today as well. I can just do posts and put the hashtag in and hopefully drive people to my website, my videos, whatever. So great example of democratization of information. So of course, Twitter is microblogging. Most people got into Twitter, a lot of people got into it to follow their favorite celebrity. We're now seeing something like 250 million tweets per day. And we've got something in the region of 10 million users in the UK. So a lot of people are tweeting. And interestingly enough, because I've been working with 16 to 18-year-olds, I was surprised to find out that they're all on Twitter now and they've all got fed up with Facebook. Yet when I was running these workshops 3 years ago, it was all Facebook. But the reason I've realized, what I've concluded, was the reason they like Twitter is because it's impersonal. They can broadcast to lots of people, but without giving lots of information about themselves away in this way that they would on Facebook. So we can see that Twitter's become quite a tool of the younger people now, which is great. When Madonna was on the Super Bowl, there were 10,000 tweets per second. 10,000 tweets a second. So people were watching Madonna and tweeting about her at the same time. So you can see that it's very powerful. In politics, Barack Obama has currently got 31 million followers. Lady Gaga, she's got 37 million. So Lady Gaga's bigger than Obama on Twitter. And who's bigger than Lady Gaga? Come on, you must know. No, Justin Bieber with just only 2 million more. He's at the 39 million mark. So this man is almost a god. He can post something and 39 million people can see it. So I'm afraid I pale into insignificance with my 2,625 followers, but I don't think I'm doing bad with that many people. The leader of the Green Party here in the UK, she's doing a bit better than me. Dear Caroline, good friend of mine, 56,000 people. Now, who do you think's got the most Twitter followers from the eco sort of environmental field? It's Al Gore, with 2.6 million followers. It's a bit lame, isn't it, when you think Justin Bieber's in the sort of 40 million mark and poor old Al Gore, somebody who's got something far more important to say to the world, has only got 2.6 million followers. So we do have a problem. Popular culture is dwarfing the real issues that are going on. I have a theory, just my own kind of wacky theory, that as the real world out there gets more and more difficult for people to handle and kind of come to terms with, the more they're looking at all their digital content. Just distraction. Look over here, buy this, when actually all this other stuff's going on.
I think with all of this tweeting, Facebooking,
yeah.
emails, Blackberries, is it starting to affect our health?
Yeah.
In terms of...
On every level.
Yeah, because people aren't switching off, people aren't getting...
Exactly. There's only 3 things historically that we are used to doing. It's finding someone to sleep, finding something to eat, and to procreate. Those are the 3 things that human beings have done for most of their existence on this planet until this tiny bit of history where we're living in a kind of information Vietnam war. The minute we get up, we're being buzzed and attacked all the time because digital social media created this woman. It's Subo. We can thank Twitter for making her a global star. And I'll tell you how. Demi Moore, God bless her, saw the clip of Subo on Britain's Got Talent and tweeted about it. And of course, all the American media are following Demi Moore. So suddenly, the Subo phenomenon took off outside of England because a celebrity like Demi Moore tweeted it. And that video of her on Britain's Got Talent's had actually over 100 million views now. It's quite a lot. Robin Hood tax, 500,000-600,000 views. Subo on Britain's Got Talent, 100 million views. So we can see that that's the audience we need to engage with. And of course, on a more serious level, Twitter is a fantastic tool for sharing real-time information. If you've got a campaign, you can use a hashtag. And I wanted to just give you a great example of how to raise money for a cause using Twitter. This is a really nice model. It's called TwitChange. And it's a celebrity Twitter auction that was run a couple of years ago for the Haiti Fund. And they had basically a situation where you could bid to be followed by a celebrity or tweeted about by a celebrity, which is worth a lot of money. You know, Charlie Sheen gets paid $50,000 if he tweets about a brand's product. Pretty amazing. So this was a way you could bid to get a celebrity to tweet about you. And here is our good friend Eva Longoria to tell you all about it.
Hi, I'm Eva Longoria. Thank you for checking out our new celebrity auction here at twitchange.com, where we are trying to change the world one tweet at a time. Unlike normal celebrity auctions where you can buy memorabilia or bid on an autographed photo, we are auctioning off two very cool things. One, the chance to be followed by your favorite celebrity on Twitter, and two, the chance to receive a special tweet by your favorite celebrity on Twitter. It's never been done before. We have everyone participating, celebrities from entertainment, athletes, actors, musicians, business people, techies. Everyone is on board just for you, and all of the proceeds are going to build a home and school for special needs kids in Haiti. So starting September 15th, you will have 10 days to bid on your favorite celebrity. Help us make a difference in the lives of these kids in Haiti. It's a lot of fun, and the celebrities are waiting to tweet you.
So I think that's a nice idea for how to monetize Twitter to raise money for a good cause. And they raised over $500,000, and they had 178 celebrities involved. That's not bad. Of course, for brands, social media can backfire really badly, especially Twitter. There's a great story about McDonald's launching the MacD Stories hashtag, which backfired rather badly because people used it to highlight all their horror stories of how bad it was at McDonald's. And here's a few examples which I just love. It's brilliant. So, yeah, brands can get into a lot of trouble with social media if they don't think it through. Because really, using a hashtag is a great signpost to get people to come and look at you. So if you piggyback on other people's hashtags, which I do quite often, certainly in politics, I'll use the BBC Question Time hashtag when it's on to direct people to Green Party videos that are relevant to the topic they're talking about. And I've actually managed to generate about 4,000 views of a video over less than a week about something quite boring, actually, a political video. So there's great ways of kind of using other people's campaigns, obviously making sure you're not going to do reputational damage to yourself. Some of the things on Twitter I also wanted to mention to you, because one of the problems is the amount of information out there. Who uses lists on Twitter? Everyone know about those? Great. Well, if you don't know about it, you can create lists of people. So rather than having to flick through your 2,500 people that you're following, you can group them into lists of people and just see what those people are doing. You can also get other people's lists. So rather than you having to do all the research, someone's done it for you. So here, some of the ones I've got the Westminster Wire, which is Westminster Twitterers. So it's got over 500 people on it. So I can instantly see information specific to a genre. So it's a brilliant way of focusing the information you want. One of the tools I use, and again, I don't really have time to do a demo, but I wanted to mention it, is something called TweetAdder. If you want to build up an audience on Twitter, TweetAdder is the best software tool I found. It's one that I promote at all my workshop events. And what it lets you do is it lets you track down people based on certain criteria of information. You can then decide to start following all of those people. And in return, I find about 25% of people will follow me back that I start following. Now, of course, with Twitter, you can only have a certain number of be followed by and follow a certain number of people. It won't let you follow more people than are following you. So what you can do with this software is if people don't follow you back after a certain period of time, you can unfollow them, which then gives you more room to start following more people. Does that make sense? So it's a great way of bringing up your Twitter followers while ensuring you've got enough room to add more. So I wanted to give that a quick mention because it's one of the best tools that I've found, and it's very cheap. So Facebook, who's addicted to Facebook? Come on. Facebook Anonymous, 12-step program. We need one. It is rather addictive, but I think people are waking up to it now. All those late nights. I've actually got a lot better using it. I use it less now, and I tell you how. I switched off all the notifications so it didn't keep emailing me every time something happened. But I've got this new Samsung smartphone, and every time anything happens on Facebook, it keeps going and beeping at me. So I've got to try and find a way of switching all the notifications off Facebook on my phone. But Facebook is a great medium, of course. Creating a page now is the way brands and NGOs and charities will often engage with people. The Robin Hood tax page has got 231,000 followers. It's pretty good. And Facebook's actually becoming the first point where people are announcing things. People are announcing quite important issues on Facebook. This is a Facebook post about the Libya bombing when we were trying to free Libya. And the leader of NATO actually put the first announcement on Facebook before anywhere else. It's amazing. Another great example, Silvio Berlusconi saying, I'm not going to resign, and he resigned 3 days later. So, you know, sending out a press release is kind of old news. I say I'm running for the Green Party next year in the local elections in the borough next door. And I actually tweeted the local newspaper. I just sent a tweet to the local newspaper saying, Green Party announces mayoral candidate. And literally the story was on their website within an hour. And I didn't even send a press release. I just tweeted it to them with a link to the page on the Green Party website. So I don't even need to go traditional anymore. That's what I love about it. So I can just send a tweet. Suddenly everyone hears about it. So again, we go back to who are the biggest people. Well, Barack Obama, funnily enough, is at the 35 million mark. And amazingly, this guy, Van Diesel, has got 42 million followers on Facebook. I don't understand how that happened. How? Why? But think of the power he has. When he posts the trailer for his new film, 42 million people can see the trailer. How much is that worth? Millions in traditional marketing spend. So traditionally, big celebrities and brands do well on Facebook, but now we can see that more grassroots organisations that are doing something ethical for the world also do well. Who knows about UK Uncut? Who doesn't know about UK Uncut? Okay, UK Uncut is an anti-tax avoidance group. Basically, a bunch of guys read about all this tax avoidance that these big brands and companies were doing. They went to the pub and they had a meeting and they said, we want to protest about this. And they literally started it in a pub. And now it's a national organisation where they have protests and demos outside banks. It's been on the news, it's been on television. There was a big protest at all the Starbucks a couple of months ago that I was at. It was on Channel 4 News. And they did, all of this was done through the free tools of social media online. So this is a WordPress website. They've got a Facebook plugin. They've got a map where you can click on it and see where all the actions are. They've got a blog. All of it using free tools. And they've got something like 40,000 people following them on Facebook. All of that came about thanks to the tools of digital marketing. So whenever there's an issue, a disaster, people can set their own Facebook pages up and you can keep track of that information. Again, we see, you know, stuff like disaster relief. So thinking a little bit more about the pure environmental impacts of social media, what are the environmental impacts of our use of digital media? It's got to be big, right? So I've got a short film that kind of sums it up rather well.
How green is your internet? Every second of online video we watch puts 0.2 grams of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Doesn't sound like much, except that every day, YouTube viewers get through 2 billion videos. At a conservative average of 10 seconds each, that's around 4,000 tonnes of CO2. Earth's 44 million computer servers contribute almost 2% of the planet's carbon emissions. That's about the same as the aviation industry or a medium-sized country. Server farms, also known as data centres, consume more than 130 billion kilowatt hours a year, using almost as much energy to cool servers as to power them. Last month, Greenpeace released a report called How Dirty Is Your Data?, which concluded that the tech industry's brownest companies are Apple and Facebook, whose centres rely on coal-based electricity more than those of their rivals. The report ranks Yahoo and Google as the greenest. The big tech companies are concerned about their carbon footprint. The less electricity they burn, the lower their bills. Google and Facebook take up around 10% each of the world's server space. Facebook's newest data centre relies heavily on coal, but is also mixing in wind and solar. Custom built, it can conserve 2.5 million kilowatt hours a year, saving 1,065 tonnes of carbon dioxide. Google's goal is to become carbon neutral. It has created Google Energy, a company that invests in renewable startups, pumping more than $100 million into wind farms, $350 million into solar, and $20 million into Mark&I Power, a company that generates electricity by flying kites, tapping into wind currents at altitudes wind turbines can't reach. But here's the question. With only a quarter of the world's population online and our current internet use set to quadruple by 2014, there's a good chance any progress made with greening data centres will ultimately be swallowed up by our own appetite for all things digital.